Welcome back to our Tournament of Heroes. I'm Jeff with the Halcyon Masters and proud to announce the Final Four and Championship match. For those new to the series, the heroes of Vainglory square off in a 1v1 challenge, and the champion is decided by their perceived power in the Vainglory lore. Our Final Four heroes are Catherine, the Churnwalker, Skaarf, and Adagio. To recap the action so far, Catherine soundly defeated Idris and Grumpjaw. During the Elite 8 match, Catherine upheld her promise to Julia to keep her daughter from harm by taking her place in the later stages of the tournament. Churnwalker made a controversial entrance into our tournament, eliminating both Samuel and Baptiste. Walker's unity with the Churn makes him a formidable opponent as we approach the Final Four. The adorable baby dragon Skaarf flew through the early rounds. He roasted Rona, cooked Kashka, and seared Sky to secure his position against our number 1 seed Adagio. Finally, Adagio lives up to his position, gliding through the first 2 matches against Flicker and Blackfeather. While Kestrel ultimately fell to the Seraphim, she proved that patience and battle preparedness can stun even the best of challengers. Before we get into the Final Four and the championship, we need to hit the intro. First onto the fold is Skaarf and Adagio, who finally managed to show up on time. These two have a special connection, as Adagio hatched the young dragon from an egg. Since that time, Skaarf has grown, and even more so his appetite for victory. The little guy is starting to show traits of the world-ending dragons of past. Skaarf's warbles seem to be some kind of taunt to Adagio. Let's see if we can get a little closer and hear the exchange.
Power needs never boasted. Are you commanding me?
The address between these two is getting heated. Wow, Skaarf just unleashed the full force of his dragon's breath directly on Adagio. It's difficult to see the Seraphim, let alone know if he's okay. The attack is over. While Adagio is still standing, his wings are charred after shielding himself. With a gift of fire, Adagio restores his foliage and glares back at Skaarf.
Well, I'm part Elder Dragon, part beat your ass.
With a simple flick of his wrist, Adagio puts the young dragon into a timeout. It's clear that after so many millennia of unleashing these beasts on the world, and being half-dragon himself, that Adagio knows how to show this baby who's boss. Adagio moves on to the final round to face the winner of our second Final Four match. Light goes against dark, blue battles green, and creation faces off versus destruction. That's right, our second match features the Halcyon charged Shield of the Stormguard, Catherine, versus the fearsome monster and Churn-charged Churnwalker. Emerging from the bush, a woman strides past the noxious fume that have begun gushing. Her Halcyon sense is sizzling, and she already senses his presence. Well, aren't you intrusive? Catherine speaks, watching the creature emerge without warning. The Churnwalker stands silent, fixing the Ronin with a spiteful gaze. Both internal forces desire the confrontation. If anyone thought this was child's play, the sudden clash of bodies proves otherwise. Catherine's pursuit cuts Churnwalker's trespassing short, stunning the field. But Churnwalker's sheer force also has the impact on its end, as it severely weakens the Stormguard. Too weak to call on the thunder, Catherine positions her arc shield between her and the enemy, deflecting his hits. Pushing her souls into the groove, she forces herself to stand and shield bashes Churnwalker, shoving him off. The tables now turn. He rolls and trips over the tangle of chains, allowing Catherine to impale him once with her blade, stunning him, this time for good. Still weak, but victorious, Catherine stumbles forward, determined to prevail despite her odds. Our final match of the tournament is against the demigod and a mortal who proved herself above the rest of the competition. Intrigued by the challenger who stands before him, Adagio calls out for her to announce herself.
I am Stormguard. I am your misfortune and your despair.
Sensing the opportunity to attack, Catherine shot out her blade to stun Adagio. Sure enough, contact was made and the demigod was held in place for a brief period of time. Catherine pressed her attack, yelling,
Come on, hit back.
Possibly no. All right, yes.
With that statement, Adagio engaged, firing shots of arcane fire back towards the shield of the Stormguard. Raising her bubble, Catherine deflected Adagio's attacks back at him, making him feel his own power for once. Like an elaborate dance, the Seraphim and the soldier engaged one another across the fold. Catherine would press forward, Adagio would float back, and then parlay the move back at her. With each engage, Adagio's respect for the mortal increased. She was no fool, and truly skilled in her craft. As the battle continued, Catherine built her stacks to fortify herself against the demigod's attacks. To counter her abilities, Adagio called on his Agent of Wrath to break through their shield. Slowly he chipped away at the mortal's health, but she continued to fight. Attack after attack, Catherine pressed forward, but with minimal effect. Knowing she could not take another barrage from Adagio's wrath, and that his heal would just let him endure longer, Catherine came up with a last-ditch plan. She mercilessly pursued away from him, and as he moved closer, lifted her shield to silence him. The shockwave hit, and granted her the time to land one critical strike. But Catherine's attack was too little, too late, and Adagio recovered, sparking them both on fire. Exhausted and out of energy, Catherine raised herself off the ground, but guarded herself behind her trusted shield. With victory all but secured, Adagio held his final attack. Instead, shared his gift of fire, restoring Catherine's health before turning away.
Beautiful things deserve to be cherished.
That is the conclusion of our Tournament of Heroes. I want to say thank you to Ivory Heart, who has helped write part of this script and debated with me at length on who the victor should be in each round. Also, a big thank you to RoxyIsSmall, who's doing a great job with the Halcyon Masters social media. To continue the conversation about the lore in the game, be sure to follow us on Twitter and Facebook. Thank you again for watching, and until next time, we'll see you on the Halcyon Fold or Sovereign's Rise.